this story could literally save your life. When snowboarder Tim Blakey fell 15 feet into a deep crevasse on a glacier in the Alps, he thought he may never get out.
But miraculously, he was rescued within an hour, and it was thanks to a nifty trick he remembered he could do on his phone. And Tim is here, alive and well, to tell his incredible story. Mobile phones get a lot of stick, don't they? Particularly with their use with children, you know. Should we be having them? Do we spend too much time on them? All of those things. But you are somebody, I'm sure, can't say enough about your mobile phone.
Yeah, one of the benefits of technology, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, before we get to what the nifty trick was, talk us through what happened.
Well, I'd been a little bit negligent and not researched the area.
You were snowboarding,
Snowboarding, yeah. And I've snowboarded solo off-piste for sort of 17 years, which I think gave me a bit of a false sense of security. And it was pretty much my last run on the day. Snowboarding where I'd been snowboarding that morning, the previous day, and the ground just gave way underneath me. And just, luckily I landed upright, and other than a fractured foot, I was fine.
But you're very casual about it. You were snowboarding along, the ground gave way, you plunged down into snow, didn't you?
Yeah.
Buried in it, effectively. Yeah. And what stopped you falling further?
Somehow I managed to land on this snow bridge, which was no bigger than my board. I mean, I still rack my brain as to how.
What's a snow bridge, firstly? A
snow bridge is just like a little, it's just like a shelf, like a little ice shelf that was in the crevasse, which, my mind trying to go to bed every night just replays, you know, what would have happened if I had missed that little bridge and fallen a lot deeper. I'm sure I wouldn't have got a 3G connection down there. So.
And suppose you're on your own, right? So you're on your own. Nobody's seen you fall. Yeah.
So that's the thing. For the first few minutes, that's what I thought. Okay, I'm going to sit here, stand here. Not that I could move, but I try calling out for help. And if someone's seen me, they'll be here within a few minutes. And it was only after about sort of maybe 4 or 5 minutes I realised, okay, no one's seen me go down. This is quite bad.
And the ice could well have given way at any point.
Well, that was the scary thing, is I didn't know how long that little shelf was going to hold. And there was actually a crack between that shelf and the back wall, which you can see in one of the videos, which was making me a bit nervous. It's like one of those the horror movies, because it was a warm day, so there's constant drips and snow falling. So didn't know how long it was going to last.
I'm guessing if you're shouting, you've got a helmet on.
Yeah.
Everyone else has probably got a helmet on. They're not going to hear you if you're shouting anyway.
That's what I realised for the first 5 minutes calling for help, was that anyone off-piste, if they now see that there's a big hole in the ice, they're going to avoid it. B, they're travelling at speed, and C, they're wearing a helmet, so they're not going to hear me. There's no one that's going to hear me shout.
But Tim, that's okay, because you've got a mobile phone, right?
Exactly.
So you managed to reach for your mobile phone.
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong there?
Yeah, well, so weirdly, I don't know how, but I had an intermittent 3G connection, so I was like, okay, what do? I tried messaging a friend of mine and realised that I didn't know whether he was going to answer. You know, the battery was quite low as well. I hadn't fully charged it.
When you say quite low, I mean, everyone knows.
Yeah,
Tell us how low it was.
It was 3%.
3%?
Oh, my goodness.
So I didn't want to...
If it's anything like my phone, it just dies.
Yeah.
It just dies straight away.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I had a battery booster in my backpack. But the problem with that is that my backpack is here, wedged against one ice wall, while my hands are here. So getting the battery pack out was an experience in itself.
You had managed to kind of dig your nails into the ice enough to hold on. So the risk of taking your hand back to get that battery pack.
I couldn't even dig my hands in. That's when I realised, because my plan B was, can I climb out? The only metal I had on me was the metal on my bindings, and I thought, okay, well, that's plan B. When I felt the ice, I realised there's no way I was climbing out of there.
So you've got your phone, 3%, intermittent 3G, you've texted your mate, you're not sure whether you're going to hear back. Then something suddenly occurs to you.
Well, yeah, so I remember hearing about this 5-click function, which will automatically dial emergency services. And it was so efficient. Like, it didn't go via the UK, it was straight to Switzerland, straight to the emergency services in Switzerland. The telephone operator was very, very helpful, obviously.
So they picked up and spoke to you?
They picked up and spoke to me, yeah. And
wow.
So is it the power button?
Yeah, can I...
I didn't know about it, but Kate knows about it.
Can I demonstrate it?
Kate's used it a few
I've
times.
accidentally done it. Just when I've been fumbling for my keys in my bag, and it's come up with me, do you need emergency help? And it asks you yes or no, and of course I'm going, no.
We understand the number of clicks might vary depending on what phone you've got. So you've got to check with your manufacturer.
Talk us through.
Can I demonstrate this?
Yeah, of course you can.
Do it.
So
oh, no, hang on. Are you going to call the emergency services?
No, I'll
You'll press no.
Right, okay,
This is what happens.
You just go 1, 2, 3 4, 5, and there you go. You've got 8 seconds to cancel it.
Okay, cancel it. We don't want people...
And, yeah, I mean, it was just... That was a blessing. And then they said, obviously, don't call anyone else, don't message anyone because of the 3%. And they were going to send me a message with a link that I click that pings my GPS. The problem is, with the intermittent connection, the message wasn't coming through for a while. So I'm like, I knew I had to get the battery booster out. And
because I thought they might be able to get your GPS just by the call. That wasn't possible then.
Well, they needed me to. They needed the phone to stay on.
Right, okay, that makes sense.
And I also wanted to emphasise, I wasn't making those videos on 3%. I had already charged my battery.
So then you had to go for you had to try and get your battery pack in the end.
Yeah, and that was that was an effort. But then it was. After about half an hour, the next biggest problem was I had to keep all my weight on my front of my board on my left leg, which is the leg I lead with, and it started cramping and shaking, which is when I realised that...
What are we looking at here? What are we looking at here?
So that's actually a random guy on... thank you, Matthias. He sent me a video on Instagram last night and said, is this you, by the way? I've heard about your story. He sent me this video that he was watching the whole rescue.
Oh, really?
So this is when they arrived?
Yeah.
They arrived, they turned up. My goodness, I bet you were...
Now, clearly he wouldn't have known that you were there until the rescues arrived.
Yeah, exactly. They saw the helicopters. Wow. That's Michael. He saved my life. I don't know how I can ever repay him.
The fact that people could have been nearby, but they just couldn't see you.
Well, this is why I want to highlight the dangers of this, because as you can see that there's groomed runs in the background. Like, I wasn't that far off-piste. I wasn't out backcountry. This is off-piste, but not far from the runs. Right. It just shows that they can be dangerous. You know, I've done it for 17 years.
I want to ask you a question, but I just worry, I think I'm not going to get the answer that we're hoping for. Would you do that again?
I'm not going to stop snowboarding, but I don't think I'll ever go off-piste solo again.
Good.
And I don't think I'll ever go off-piste when it's an area known for glaciers and crevasses. And I'll research my areas before.
And always make sure your phone's charged.
100%.
That's the other one, isn't it? Well, thank goodness you lived to tell the tale, and hopefully provide a cautionary tale for other people as well.
Yeah, I just want as many people as I can to know about that 5-click function.
Which could be useful in all emergencies
in life
as well, actually, yeah.
Tim Blakey, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.